Today, this is our last presentation of the day, and we're very fortunate today to have Soledad Tanner as our last speaker, and she's an alum from the University of St. Thomas. She's been to my classroom before to talk to my students and everything, and she does a wonderful job with the presentation, but without further ado, Soledad Tanner.
Thank you. So, I am an alumni of the University of St. Thomas. Probably by far one of my proudest days. I was born and raised in Ecuador, and when I was a child I had a dream that one day I would study in the US. And I came here in 1996 when I crossed the door to the other building, knock on the door, and I say, when do I register? I want to start tomorrow. I had no concept of the American system. I had no concept of such thing as fill out the form and wait a whole semester and there's some applications and whatever. And I share that story because I'm so proud that I graduated from here after 4 years. I had no money. I had a dream. I found scholarships through my work, and I used to drive 35 miles each way to come here, and I was so tired for so long. I thought, I'm not gonna make it. This is the same feeling you're gonna have when you open your business, because there are days that are high, there are days that are low. I graduated here in 2002 with a Master of International Business, and I found this picture in the storage and I wanted to share with you. Now, it took 20 years. But now if you walk outside, there's a flag of me. That's crazy. So if you work hard enough with determination, persistency, and a goal, you will get somewhere, even if you move from one country to another, if you know the language so, and you really don't have the whole plan figured out, just continue to walk, you will get somewhere in a good place. Not also that, but I always thought that if one day I make something out of me, I will come back to this university and give back. So also there's an element of your business. I come here constantly to mentor students, and also there's a career day where you help students with linking and interview, whatever you do, whatever business you want to do, please give back to the community, because it's just, it fills your heart. And I believe in karma, so something comes back to you. And this year I received one award, and in May I got a congressional recognition for an award that I got. And I got a big award, but when I got the paper from Sheila Jackson, I couldn't contain my tears. And Congress knew who I was. And I have made somebody out of all this work and all the people that helped me. So there's a lot of pride, there's a lot of determination. There were days that I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, it wasn't enough for a book or the next class. So don't let any of those stop you from fulfilling your dream, whatever that is, because if you continue and you're stubborn enough and you continue to knock on doors, you're going to get somewhere. One day you will be here speaking to others. So the reality, and this is another of my friend here, this is an SBI statistics. The reality is, if you want to open your business, it is something achievable, but you are going against really significant percentages. 25% of the businesses make it 15 years. So you don't want to be in the statistics. So the question is, what do you have to do so you are not part of these numbers? What are the main problems that face business owners, and how can you overcome those? So, what problem? So, people start a business because they love doing something, and it's the right approach. But I want you to ask yourself, as you start your business, what problem are you resolving? What solution are you giving me to what problem? So, if you're just beginning to think, I want to start a business, use Post-it notes, put it on the wall, and think, what problem I resolve? And keep thinking until you get a list of different problems that you could be resolving with your product. I founded Soledad Consulting, a financial and business consulting firm. I'm a CFO on demand. I help businesses improve their profit and productivity to financial mastery. Financial knowledge is the key to freedom. If you know your numbers, You know where your company goes. Don't give that power away to anyone. You can share it, you have it, you keep it, and you master it. Okay, we talk about the legal aspect in one of the presentations. I'm gonna do this at the beginning. I have clients from all sources of life and all levels of income, and I keep seeing over and over again, they don't have a contract. So how can you be in construction of building a high-rise and not having a contract? That makes no sense. So write down, you need to have a contract for your services. You need to make sure you have a legal entity, whatever that is. It may be LLC is good for you, but this is not a hobby. So stop the DBA. You either go to an S Corp or an LLC. If you don't know what they are, you can Google a little bit of information. You can go to SCORE. If you don't have a lawyer, find yourself a corporate lawyer or a good CPA. If you need recommendations, call. My business cards are over there, and then you can get them. If you work with other people or contractors, please make sure you sign a non-competing agreement. That means that if both of you are in a contract and I send it to my client, you are not gonna take my client away after a little bit. It's important, you will avoid tears and suffering if you have that contract up front. Non-disclosure agreement. I go into a client's office, the client tells me they're losing money. I need to keep that confidential. I need to sign a non-disclosure agreement. The people that work with me have to sign also the same. And if you go into business with your best friend, your neighbor, your cousin, your husband, whoever, please sign number one, a partnership agreement. Please, this is like marriage. Everybody was happy to the wedding, but during the divorce session, it's really hard. So please sign a partnership agreement, right? So people say, and this is for you too, people say that it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to have a successful company. You are not gonna do it yourself. You can be intelligent and determined, but you don't know it all. You need a lawyer, you need an IT person, you need a marketing person, you need a finance person. So find yourself a smart, caring people that surround you that are not afraid to tell you no. I'm not afraid to tell you you're doing the wrong thing. I disagree with you. I have no problem telling you or anybody that. So that's the people you want. You don't want people telling you, oh, you're doing wonderful, everything is perfect, because it's not. You need to find somebody with character, professional maturity, wisdom, and knowledge that tells you, I don't like something, I don't like the road that you're taking, this is my advice. So I call it your personal board of directors. You know how companies have this board of directors and they have the responsibility to advise and set the direction of the companies? You, as a company, one person, whatever product you want to have, you need to have a group of people around you. It can be your family. In the case of the presenter that was from Gabon, she had her family surrounded. What happens if you don't have family like me here? So you need to have friends, neighbors, professors, whoever. I call Dr. Perez if I have a point. Dr. Perez, if you know somebody, I have this problem, right? So do that. And it takes money to start a company, but there's a lot of complimentary and free services that you can take advantage of a professional and work at your time. Obviously, I will go first to SBA, SCORE SBA. The library is also a phenomenal source of information. And there's even an SBA class that teaches you how to use the library. So you learn how to use the library, and then you go to the library, and the people at the front teach you how to use the library. Voila! And then you come here, and you have this great library, and you can get all kind of data that helps you in your market analysis, right? Also, the City of Houston is doing a phenomenal work through the Office of Business Opportunity to sponsor more and more business in this city. The city is growing like crazy, and they want more businesses here. Guess what? More businesses, more income, more taxes, more money for everything in the city. So they have a program called Build Up, for example. If you're in construction and they're encouraging women in construction, you can take these programs. They teach you how to start your company. If you're Hispanic, they have a program called Latinx that is taught in Spanish, and I will be a professor in one of those sessions. So let the language not even be a barrier, okay? And also Baker Replay is a phenomenal agency. Like today, one person sitting in this room was also there. They have pitch competitions. If you win, they give you some money. So hey, free money to start a company, take it, okay? So now kind of the obvious. You know, the things I teach you in marketing and the business school. You need to have a target, you need to know your competitors, and you need to know your customers. So Houston is growing so much. There are people from every country, and they're creating like sections and divisions. So you have the Vietnamese people, you have the Pakistanis, you have the Colombians, Venezuelans are in every corner of these, Ecuadorians too, you have Cubans, you have Mexicans, so you have different levels. So make sure you know who the competition is, make sure you know the market, and what demographic. So if you're doing kids under 25 through 30, 35, 40, different people have different purchasing power. It's really important. There is so much people in Houston that is kind of bigger the size of the country, that almost the size of the country I was born. So Houston is almost a country. So I know we're used to it, but it's huge, and you can, if you have one segment, one little corner of that huge pie, bingo, you have it, right? So, who is your customer? Somebody, when I started my company, said, can you describe your client? And I went, yeah, my client is 35 to 55. No. I want first name, last name, how she or he gets dressed. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so there's a name, right? Who is my client? So my client is called Mafalda. That's a long story, but has a name. Just visualize your client, so you attract what you visualize. It's very clear who is a person you're gonna be helping. Okay, so ready, set, go. We're gonna start the company. Now, there's a couple of little tips here, basic, so write them down. If you leave here with 3 tips, what you're gonna do different or that you didn't know that you're gonna apply, that's wonderful. Number 1, you need to know what your product is going to be, what it's going to be your start product. You may have 2 or 3 services, but one is going to be the bread and butter of your business. So what in my case, I offer financial management consulting sessions. So if you are growing and you need a CFO, but you don't have the money to still hire an expensive CFO, you can hire me for hours. Hey, great. So is that the product? Is that a good product? What will your product be? And price. So I see a lot of people under a price below what they need to, because they are new. You know, I'm gonna charge less than everybody else until they know me. Your price needs to be in line with the competition. You need to figure out what the competition is charging. Do your analysis. It can be simple. It can be sophisticated. Have at least 10 points and start with a good price. So also cost, of course, if your price is gonna be $100 and your cost is gonna be $99, we're out of business like in 1 second. So it's very important that you know your costing, and you can do a simple costing model, a sophisticated costing model. You need to be very clear since the very beginning how much your gross profit is gonna be for every unit of services that you sell. So make sure you don't forget the money. Of course, what is the vision? Where are you going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? I know it sounds like something that you read in the textbooks. It's really useful, because when I started, I thought, okay, what I'm going to be like, how do I make my financial services kind of sexy and appealing, right? And I thought, what if one day I am in big studies talking about financial literacy and financial freedom, and how finance changed my life and can change your life. Because when you are empowered to handle your own business, regardless of all the events in your life, even if your parents pass away or you go through diseases and changes of countries and divorce and different things like that, you will survive. And that's a story. So make sure that's part of the mission. My mission is to become a global ambassador of financial literacy around the world. So I talk to women about the power of knowing that and owning that right that you have. We talk about domains, we talk about Google. Go please and buy your name, so it doesn't happen what Celine Dion cannot have her name because somebody bought it and now is trying to sell it for gazillions of dollars. So if one day you think you might open your business, go and buy your name. If you can, some combination, it costs $5, $10, and you keep it that way. Please start with a business email and a business phone number. Don't do Yahoo. It really doesn't look good. It looks good for personal, but it doesn't look for business. So get your business email and your business line as you start your journey. And logo, business cards, and brochures are the very minimum that you need to do to start. Ask a friend that is in university to design a logo. Go and get for $20 printed your business card and start your journey. And people always ask me what applications are being used. So as you start your business, please download MileIQ so you can keep track of your mileage, and you can give it to your CPA, and you can get the deductions at the end of the year for the mileage that you have driven for businesses. Okay, let's have the money talk. This is the part, the sweet spot. Let's talk about money. Money. You need to start your business knowing that you're going to be looking, even if you're a subject matter expert, you're going to be looking at money every single day. You need to know, first of all, you need to save. Let's start with that. There's no magical. You're not going to be making profit in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, maybe 6 months, normally a year, unless Harvey hits. And then you go back to zero. And then you're almost all your savings gone. And then you start building again. And then another storm hits. And then you stand up again and you do it again. So we cannot predict storms. We cannot predict macroeconomic circumstances. We cannot predict diseases. But if you can save for at least a year or year and a half, that will be the prudent. Pay all your credit cards, pay all your debt, and having a stable economical condition, and create a budget, what is the very minimum that you can live without the must, without restaurants, without clothes, without, buying new things, and see how long your savings are going to stretch so you're ready to start and ready to face economic difficulties. We talked earlier, we need a business plan. It's just, you need to know where you're heading, you need to know what it takes. And sometimes I obviously recommend you start the business plan earlier and go to SBA, take a complimentary class what it is, because you're in a business school how to do it. But you present it to SBA and they grade it and help you, at least you have something sound to start with. Figure out if you're gonna ask for a loan, you better have your personal credit in line, because when you don't have a business, you don't have a business credit score. So you have your personal credit score. And the logic is, if you can handle your personal life in an orderly way, then that is predicts how your future behavior is going to be with your business. And you can get a beginning loan based on your personal score. But if your score is 600, try at least it needs to be a 700 so you can get a loan with a good rate. Okay, so let's say you want to start selling coffee as the example of the last presentation. You're going to be the subject matter expert in coffee, but don't forget finance. The finance department checking your results, checking your P&L, checking your balance sheet, checking your accounts receivable every week, every month. You have to know where your money is. You don't want to wake up 13 months after and figure out there's no money in the bank account and you don't know what happened. For the ones that are also at the beginning stage, please make sure you separate your personal life, your commercial life. So you're going to have your personal bank account and you're going to have your business bank account, even if it's, don't mix it, because it's very difficult for your CPA to do that, and then you lose credibility and it's a nightmare. So start from the beginning, separate accounts, separate credit cards. And if you don't know, you don't like numbers, you don't have time for that, please hire a consultant, you can call me, and hire a bookkeeping firm, hire a CPA, hire a tax advisor, go to SCORE. Just, there's no excuse not to do it. Networking, we talked about earlier, somebody mentioned the topic of networking. If you You're gonna have to network, and network, and network, and network, and network a little more. You have to network in an intentional way, meaning you have to figure out where your target audience is, maybe the Chamber of Commerce, maybe an industry chamber, maybe the construction, maybe the doctors, maybe, but you need to do it intentionally, and you need to be very clear the difference between public relations and networking to close a business. You can be all over Houston, and it's hard because you have to drive 1 hour anywhere, 1 hour back, then you need to be there an hour and a half, 30 minutes to get ready, so a whole afternoon, and you come back home and you haven't closed one deal. You don't have one credit business card, you did absolutely nothing, and you spend 4 hours doing just saying hello and drinking a glass of water. Your network has to be very, very intentional. You can be networking a year and not having one client. And once you come back to the office with 5 business cards, you have done nothing. If the next time you don't pick up the business card, you call them and you say, hey, hello, I met you yesterday at University of St. Thomas. It was a pleasure meeting you. Remember me? I'm Soledad. Hey, I would like to have a cup of coffee with you because I would like to be your CFO. Boom, close the deal. And I didn't know how to do it because I spent 20 years in a global corporate environment where the projects came to me by the dozen, and I had to learn to close it, because if you don't close the deal, you don't sign a contract, you have absolutely nothing. You have work and work and work in circle with no income coming to you. So close the deal. And there's a lot of social media, and the younger generation can be very distracted by social media. Okay, let me tell you something. Social media is phenomenal. I am in all social medias. You can Google me, Soledad Tania. I'm in LinkedIn, I'm in Facebook for my business, and Instagram, everything. But you're gonna remember me more for today, when you hear me, my story, Ecuador, whatever, than for all the social media postings that I can do. I can post $1,000, but nothing will do more than the personal contact, talking to somebody, having a cup of coffee, shaking the hands. I will remember the lady from the school that she's like feisty and doing, because you put your personality, whatever that is. So it doesn't have to be perfect, it's whoever you are is perfect enough, because that's who you are. And that's the stamp in your business. You are the ambassador, you are your brand, you conduct yourself as you want to be remembered, and you will close business because you are who you are and because you know what you're selling. And people always ask me, okay, what applications should I use? Okay, suggestions. MailChimp is a great way to send newsletters. So as your friends, you can start testing them. As all your family, they can give you your emails and you can start building your newsletters, so you tell them about your product. Also, send out cards. I use them a lot. So when I want to have a personal touch, so let's say I want to thank University of St. Thomas for inviting me, I want to say a customized letter saying, thank you, University of St. Thomas. Here's the picture, and I'm sending you some brownies, by the way. That creates loyalty, that they will remember me. Hey, from all these sponsors and important people, she sent me some brownies. They will remember that, and they may invite me next year. Who knows, right? And card card, you're gonna get thousands and thousands of business cards in your network events. So you don't want to have a pile of business cards at home. So you want to process them. I use card for that. You take a picture and it copies all the information if it's not shiny, and then you have it in your phone and then you move on. Why Houston? Why Houston? We are growing like crazy. It's the most diverse city in the country. It's going to have 7.1 million people by 2020. That's like huge. And the diversity of the city is such an important element because we have something for everyone. I read an article that said that immigrants try to start the journey when they have families. So if you want to go to Germany and your brother-in-law is in Germany, you may stay the first 3 months with them until you start your life. So when there's already immigration here from all over the world, from Africa and Europe and South America, there's a high probability that more immigrants will come to those families to start their life. And with immigration, there's new opportunity. There's more product that can be sold in the market. I have a tough time with the warmer weather, but people from the north love it, and they move to the south because the weather is better. And also the price of housing, even though the housing is increasing the price, is still cheaper than the north and the two coasts. So a lot of people from the US move here for better housing opportunities. And also a very friendly business climate. As we talked earlier in the other session, so many women and Hispanics and minorities have opened businesses. Texas is the greatest state for businesses. And if this is the route that you want to go, you're in a great place now. We have 90 consulates, 2 international airports, the second busiest airport in the nation. And the port is expanding, which means that more commodities are going to come this way. And with that, more businesses and more opportunities. Can you have it all? A question I hear all the time. Well, when somebody asks me that question, it means different things for different people. For me, the answer is yes. As long as you find where your knowledge and your skill set is. So I know numbers. I love numbers. I was born counting, and I would do puzzles all day long. But is that where your passion is? Oh, I can sit in front of Excel and do charts until the night. I love it. I look at these numbers and I find money and I find solutions. If you are that passionate, you're gonna succeed because you're good just for the sheer factor that you love it, right? So passion first. Then second, purpose. So what are you gonna do with all of this? You're passionate, you have a business, wonderful, you're helping people. Well, find the purpose of that, which is bigger than you. It's a big question. It may linger in your head for a couple of years. So purpose, for me now, the purpose is to share this knowledge with as many women and men as possible. So they go in the world, and when they go through difficulties like I did, the loss of my father, the loss of my husband, immigrating to another country, starting all over again 3, 4, 5 times, I bring with me the passion, the purpose, the spirit, the integrity, the knowledge, and if I can alleviate that difficult decision when I saw my mother losing my father and having 3 kids, and she didn't have an education, how she's gonna take care of these 3 kids. And I said, Mom, don't worry, we will figure that out. So finance is one of the most important components of that bouncing back. So please make sure you find your purpose. It's gonna make life much more exciting. And the third one is obviously profit. So once you figure out what you know how to do, what are you gonna do, why you're gonna do it, now we need to make money. So the world keep moving around that. So when you think of your new business, make sure that your products make a better society in this world. Just not a product, a lot of people look at things in the environment, just think if your product will make this society in this world a better place. And to be successful, you have to be out there. You have to hit the ground running. So nobody's gonna knock on your door, nobody's gonna ask permission, don't ask forgiveness or permission, just go and do it, okay? And with that, I want to share with you a little video here, just a minute video. Thank you. Always ask for referrals. I'm gonna learn to do that, so if you know anybody who can use my services, so if you need some help, you can find me. I have some brochures right there, my business cards, and good luck, dream big, and look for help. I'm here to help you. It's Soledad. Thank you.
Questions, guys?
Questions? Who wants to start a business?
How did you find the first clients?
That's I made a list of 50 friends. I took my phone and I went in alphabetical order, A, B, C, D, and I wrote down. And I called 50 people. And my very first friend, one of my good friends owned a company, and she said, well, I don't have anything for you, and I cannot pay you what you're, but can you help me with this? And I said, yes, in exchange of a picture and a testimonial. So I thought if somebody hears that I did a good job, maybe the next will come. And I used a testimonial in 50 different ways to make it look big, and then the second one. So I started the business with no clients. Just an idea that a lot of people ask, can you help me with the budget? Can you help me with a forecast? Can you see if the numbers are good? And I thought, oh wow, so there's a lot of need of corroborating that information is good. And I was in a sabbatical year, and my girlfriends said, now finally, you never have time, now you have time, can you help me? Because I want to save, or I want to start my business. And I did it, and I would do it for free until like my fifth friend said, you know what, I want you to do it, but I want you to do it, and I want to pay you. And I said, well, I don't know how to charge you. I said, well, I will pay you what my CPA is charging me. And then I thought, oh, Eureka, this is it.
Start a business.
Yes.
How do you think that your background in the corporate world helped you really start?
Oh, super. So this is I'm gonna go back. I have worked in like 10 countries. So I started in Ecuador, my background at 17. By the time I immigrated to the US, I was already a manager of a bank. And then when I came here, I went and worked in a Swiss company called Danzas, and then it was acquired by Deutsche Post, the German postal service, which became the biggest employer on planet Earth. We were 550,000 employees around the world, and the divisions were DHL Global Forwarding, DHL Supply, DHL Aviation, DHL Banking, all these DHLs. And what happened, I started I didn't know anyone in the US, so I thought, well, if I find my father was Swiss, so if at least I have that in common, I find some ground. So I moved into this company, and I was a billing clerk, and it was really difficult from the manager of a bank to a billing clerk. And I thought, okay, I probably look like I'm going back, but I'm going back to go forward. So I did a great job as a billing clerk, and then they hired me, and I was a junior assistant to the controller, a junior controller, a controller of the US, controller of the Americas, a global controller, a VP of controlling, and a global director of strategy, performance, and metrics. So what happened, that 20 seconds to 20 years. And what I learned is culture, I learned how to flip business and make money from every angle. I learned obviously the products of logistics, air, ocean, freight forwarding, shipping, all kind of shipments, and how every space make a little bit of money. And I thought, if I can make this amount of money for the stockholders in Germany, and I'm walking around in this board talking about how I saved 100 million euros, what if I transfer that into the local market, into the people, so I can feel them? I no longer felt anything. I was walking in with PowerPoints. The flight attendants, I will commute to Germany. The flight attendants knew who I was, but I didn't have any connection with anyone. So I thought, no, it's time to change. I'm a people person. I can change people's lives. And so the background, it was a German, I'm half Swiss, half Ecuadorian, so very, very linear. And working in Germany, working in Uruguay, in India, in Hong Kong, in Mexico, Brazil, and in Ecuador gave me that whole wide range of experiences. Now to work with a diverse environment. Yeah.
How many no's you got with your new idea, with your
How many what?
no's? People saying this is not going to work,
Oh.
this is not, so,
The truth, I didn't ask. I didn't ask. I'm slightly irreverent, and I was the first female graduate of my family. The first immigrant of my family in order to pursue a dream, to pursue a master. I think I can do it. So I asked my partner if in case things will not work, even though I had a 1 year of savings, if he will support me until, I will try it for a year. And whatever happened, if, it will probably take me 2 or 3 months to find a job. So I wanted to have a plan B or C in case it didn't work. And I said, of course, you're gonna do it. You're a stubborn like hell. So it's, yes. So people say it was difficult, but everything has been difficult. So nothing that is wonderful is gonna come like this. You have to gradually build it from scratch. And I try to surround myself with people that know more than me. You said that. So if I am the smartest person in the room, I am in the wrong room. Because I'm gonna have to answer questions, but I'm gonna leave saying, so what do I do tomorrow? But if I am in a room full of people that I'm like, hopefully in the middle to lower, I go, okay, when I go home, I do this, I do this. He said that, and she said that. And so try to surround myself with people that know more than me all the time.
Yeah, let's say you wanna open a coffee shop locally, right? And you already see a lot of coffee shop in every corner of the town, including huge chain like in Starbucks. So how could you gather that courage to compete with a big chain like Starbucks?
How different is gonna be your coffee and the experience in your coffee shop and who your client is gonna be? What if your coffee shop is for business people? Just wondering, what if your coffee shop only offers African coffee? And what if your coffee shop is geographical? So I'm from Ecuador, I'm from a coffee country, right? I was raised with coffee beans deep dry under the sun. I can smell coffee. What if you have some outdoor space where this is happening and there's a special experience? What if you have tours from the school so kids learn how to roast coffee? So what if, this is how, it will never compare to Starbucks. I do business and I go to different coffee shops which I know are locally owned because I know my $4 cup of coffee when I'm doing business is going to a family. And from out of those $4, they are keeping $2.50. That $2.50 times 100 makes something, right? If it goes to Starbucks, it still goes to a corporation to pay salaries, but I try to do it here. So be different, make a difference. And I would love to go to a place where I can speak with my clients and have really upscale coffee, and maybe it comes and be served at the table instead of me standing in line because I'm with a client. So think what the different element is going to be for you. Any other question? Who wants to start a business? Okay, so what do you want to start a business?
Insurance company.
Insurance. Okay, when?
Hopefully, I was thinking about probably getting corporation, experience, kind of learning how to run a business from other perspectives,
Okay.
so that I have different ideas of how to run one correctly.
And also get your
before-
certifications while you're doing them. So when you're ready, you learn how others run it, and then your certifications are there, just to show. Good. I saw some funds in the back. Who wants to start your business? Okay, what business do you like?
It's basically like a platform for business to be created.
A platform? A platform for business?
Yeah, to be created, or for investors to invest in business that are coming up.
Can you talk a little louder, please?
It's a platform for either like someone who wants to start a business
Okay,
or for investors who want, like, who are looking to invest in a business.
okay. Okay, so how are you gonna put that together? So what is it?
Honestly, I have never done
I was thinking that you should check the competition and what is in the market right now. Sorry, I am a business investor.
That's
so
why.
She was checking on me. Okay, answer. So I am an investor here in the States. So you should check the competition and see which other platforms there are in the market. Like, for example, PitchBook. It's a fantastic one. And see how you will approach another niche. Because PitchBook is super good for corporate customers, right? But there are other niches that are not separate. So analyze your competition and find your niche. I think.
Anybody else? I saw another hand here in the back. No?
It was me. A marketing consultant company.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, the service will be evaluating every aspect of the marketing in a company, and just as you do with financial services, that you propose an action plan and then follow through with the implementation and maintenance of it. But that's the other side,
Super.
which is marketing.
Okay, that's wonderful. Just make sure you check the competition. It's all over the world, can be done online for prices close to zero, but the talent is always, the knowledge of the talent is always what makes the difference. Okay? Anybody else?
Sounds good. That's good. Yeah, so I'm a master's student, master in science and accounting student right now.
Okay,
So I'm just planning to get my CPA license.
okay, good.
And hopefully just, it's starting to point in the time, I would want to establish a law firm that provide, like accounting and auditing services.
Yes,
So that's the plan.
and law. You said
It's a
legal?
CPA firm
CPA. Okay.
providing accounting and auditing services.
Well, there's plenty. The more businesses we have, and the more complicated the tax regulation becomes, the more professional, knowledgeable, certified services we need. There's plenty of work on that. So get your CPA license and get your QuickBooks certifications, a master certification. And start if you want doing just bookkeeping for people, work under a CPA. So learn some experience, learn how to charge. There's different ways to charge, and learn from errors. So you can have somebody you can ask, what would you do in this case? And then so you can do it like a side job remotely. So one by one, you get experience, and when you get your license, you're ready to open your place. Okay? I saw another hand, a shy one. Here, was you?
Oh, well, it's more like I want to do when I'm older. I want to open up a bakery when I'm older.
Okay. A baker. Yeah.
Yes.
What type of bakery?
Well, I'm technically trained in French baking.
Okay.
I'm trained in French baking.
Okay.
So I want to
Wonderful.
have like a little
I will be your
French
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of wanted to do like, because I also love to read and I love to drink coffee, so I kind of wanted to incorporate reading with coffee shop and bakery.
Bingo. When you're sitting there reading and doing work. So there's a couple of French bakeries, maybe in Houston, that do that. Go around, see the prices, see what they offer. I think for you will be location key. Maybe you want to start little and then you expand, because you sell it for $2-3. Calculate well the cost, first the investment to open the ovens and all of that, and then how many units you have to sell to cover the expenses. But it's a phenomenal, it's a labor-intensive business. You have to be there almost every day. But if you love it and you're trained on that, I will be your client. Call me. I will be there. Okay. Anybody else?
This is a question. Okay, so I do a little bit of decor for events, and I mean it's just word of mouth. But what we suggest for like if we want to actually make a what's it called, a company,
Yeah.
yes, to like for marketing, because I know there's a lot of competition, and also they can be like we make some designs and they could also be like coffee or
So an event planning businesses, there is a couple of things I would suggest. Find a niche. So for example, there's a couple of friends of mine do quinceañeras, which is a Hispanic niche only, and only do that. A couple of friends of mine do weddings, and some people do weddings for, like gays and lesbians, a special weddings. Some people do it for older people, some people do it for country weddings. Also, some people do just corporate events, like galas and things of that nature. So I would recommend you work with another person doing that first, so you can see the intensity of 2-3 days prior to the event. Flowers, I have a couple of friends that have the flowers they work in all of them together, the cake person, with the flowers person, with the chairs and table person, with the decoration person, all together in teams. So try to see if you can get in one of those teams. That way, if one gets the business, everybody gets to work on that. Okay? Thank you. Okay, well, yes.
How did you fund your business?
How did I find my business? I was working, as I said, for the Deutsche Post DHL, and I have been traveling for a year non-stop. I live with 2 carry-ons, and I was really tired. I've been working since I was 17. I was about, almost 25 years, and I was not even 45. I was tired, so I decided it was time to take a break. And like the movie Eat, Pray, and Love, I took my belongings and I went to India and I meditated and I relaxed. And I was sitting there. I thought I need to do something with my life. Okay, great. And I'm not like, I went to with a egg, great. So I came back and I thought, no, I promised myself I was gonna rest. I was sleep deprived. Not one day, not 1 week, not 1 month. I just sleep deprived to the max. So while I was doing nothing as per my friends came knocking on my door and saying, well, now that you finally are here, can you help me create? I promised my husband, I promised my wife I was going to do a budget for the family. Next person, now that you're here, can you help me? I'm going to start my business, can I check my numbers? Okay, no problem. Bring a bottle of wine and check it, right? And the next person came, and the other, and the other, and the other. I started the story that the person said, I paid you. I can monetize this, and I'm not working. I couldn't technically work because I was still under the DHL contract. So I thought, okay, well, how do I do this? By the time my year ended, I already had clients, and that's how bingo, I found a job. So it's something that I did, and I did really well, and I enjoy doing it even in my time off, even without being paid. And now it's a business I'm very proud that is, continue to grow, and more people are looking for the service. So always look for what problem you're solving, and I'm solving the problem of many business owners that they don't know about the numbers. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Soledad, we have a little plaque for you. Thank you very much. Awesome presentation. Thank you. She does a wonderful job. Thank you everyone for attending the Business Symposium. We really appreciate it. There's